Guys, please confirm to me. All of you are getting my voice and screen. Those are attending in online. Guys, please confirm to me. All of you are getting my voice and screen. Those are attending in online. Guys, please confirm to me. All of you are getting my voice and screen. Those are attending in online. Please, guys, please respond for me. Everybody. All of you are getting my voice and screen now. All right. Good afternoon, guys. And check it what we completed in the last session. I think so. Just we are discussing about introduction content. In introduction content, I think so. Just we understand differences between Java and other programming languages. Here we are discussing there. In the differences between Java and other programming languages, few differences here we completed. Just 2 to 3 small differences we completed there. Now still we are discussing some few concepts. Just let me have some review of all the differences. Then after that, we are going to discuss the remaining part. Welcome after the class. All right. And before that, again, I'm giving clarity. Every day classroom running notes, if you want to get, please take this URL and use this URL in the browser. There we are able to open this classroom notes, regular classroom notes. Every day classroom notes, whatever the content I'm typing now, we can get this content through this URL, right? All of you are having this URL, this classroom notes, right? Everybody, regular classroom notes. Every day class notes you are able to get up to some few topics. I will provide this URL. Then after that, I'll go for some other link there. But meanwhile, we can use this link. All right. https://tinyurl.com/java430pm notes. Okay. In the case if it is not opened in our mobile phone, just try to install Google Docs app. Then through that, if you open, then you are able to get it. In the case if it is not open in the browser, but max 99% you will get this notes through the browser. In the case if it is not coming, then you can open through Google Docs. Okay. All right. Well, let's come to the points here. Then what we completed in the last session, and a few points here I covered there. Differences between Java and others, few topics here, few points I covered there. What are the various differences we covered up to now? First one is C and C++ are which programming languages? No, static programming languages, but Java is what there? Come on, Java is what? Dynamic programming language. Simple reasons. I don't require the complete description here. In why C and C++ are static, why Java is a dynamic? No, in a C and C++ applications, memory will be allocated for the primitive data at a compilation time, not at runtime. But in the case of Java, memory will be allocated for the data at a runtime. Because of this reason, C++ are static, but Java is what there? A dynamic programming language. Clear. Next one is the second point, preprocessor is not required in a C and a C++, but preprocessor is C processor is required in a C and a C++, but preprocessor is not required in Java. That's the point here. Simple reasons. I don't require the too much content here. Anyway, complete description is available in the document what I prepared now. But the point is like what I'm telling there. In a C and a C++, what is the role of the preprocessor? If you observe this, just to recognize hash include statements to load header files content to the memory. That's the main intention of the preprocessor. That is required in C and C++ applications. Library is available in the form of header files. If you want to use predefined library in a C and C++ applications, we have to write hash include statements. There we have to specify header files. To recognize hash include statements, to load header files to the memory, definitely we required what the preprocessor in the case of C and C++. But it is not required in the case of Java. Why preprocessor is not required in the case of Java? In the case of Java, header files are not available. Hash include statements are not available. In place of them, classes and interfaces in the form of packages are available. To include these packages, we have import statements. To recognize import statements, to load predefined library, we have compiler and JVM in Java. So no need to have preprocessor in Java. Leave it. Then after that, I give in some points there. One important interview question I given there about this. What was that interview question I given? What are the differences between hash include statements and import statements? Exactly, few differences are given. Hash include statements are available in a C, C++. Import statements are available in a Java. Hash include statements are able to include the libraries which are available in header files, but import statements are able to include the libraries which are available in the classes and interfaces in packages. Hash include statements are supporting which loading there? Static loading. Import statements are supporting which loading there? Dynamic loading. Hash include statements are evaluated by the preprocessor. Import statements are evaluated by the compiler and JVM. To include more than one header file in C and C++ applications, we have to use more than one hash include statements. To include more than one class or more than one interface of the same package in the present Java application, we have to use single import statement with which notation? No, star notation. Import java.ivo.star. Okay, that is a point here. Another important difference I given there in the last classes. No, C and C++ are platform dependent programming languages, but Java is what their platform independent programming language. If any programming language allows its applications to perform compilation and execution on the same operating system, then that programming language is what their platform dependent programming language. Examples are what their C and C++. All right, so then I've given some points here. Understand this clearly. If we compile C program on Windows operating system, then .exe file here we are getting. What is the job of this .exe file? No, .exe file contains directly executable code. Right here I given that. All right, sir. If we compile C and C programs on Windows operating system, compiler will generate .exe file which contains directly executable code, and it is having the same Windows operating system representations. If we want to execute that Windows represented, if we want to execute the Windows representations, then we must provide the same Windows operating system and runtime. We are unable to provide other operating systems. Why? Because other operating systems are unable to process Windows operating system representations. So execution time or executing C, C++ programs are depending on the operating system what we have used for compilation. Because of this reason, C and C++ are what their static programs. Sorry, C and C++ are what their platform dependent programming languages. But in the case of Java, Java is a platform independent programming language. How can you say like this? No, if any programming language allows its applications to compile on one operating system and to execute on another operating system, then that programming language is a platform independent programming language. Compilation is on one operating system, execution is on another operating system, then that programming language is what there? Platform independent programming language. Examples are what there? Java, Python, .NET, so many languages are what there? Platform independent programming languages. All right, the next point is what? When we compile a Java program on Windows operating system, compiler will generate a .class file, where the generated .class file contains bytecode. Right, it is not directly executable code, it is an intermediate code, and it is not having any operating system representations. In the above context, if you want to execute bytecode in any operating system, then the bytecode must have the local operating system representations. In this context, to make Java as a platform independent programming language or to execute Java programs in all the operating systems, Sun Microsystems has provided some conversion mechanism. Right, how that Sun Microsystems has provided that conversion mechanism? Actually, Sun Microsystems has provided conversion mechanism along with execution in the form of a single component. That component is what there? JVM. What is this JVM actually? Java Virtual Machine. What exactly the job of the JVM in Java applications? No, to translate bytecode to the native code and to execute that native code. Only these two responsibilities. Bytecode to native code. That means bytecode is not executable code. Bytecode is an intermediate code. That intermediate code must be converted to native code. Native code is what their executable code. After that, executing that native code. So these two things must be performed by JVM. Java is a platform independent programming language because of what? Because of what? JVMs only. But what is this JVM? JVM is what? Platform dependent. Java is a platform independent, but whereas JVM is what there? Platform dependent. Not only JVM, the complete Java software is what there? Platform dependent. The complete Java software is what there? Platform dependent. Already some diagram I given there. There we can understand clearly the diagrammatic representation here. That's okay, fine. All right. Then here I given one important interview question. What's that question here I given there? What are the differences between .exe file and .class file? .exe file is available in C and C++, whereas .class file is available in what? Java. .exe file contains directly executable code. .class file contains bytecode. It is not directly executable code, and it is an intermediate code. .exe file is a platform dependent file. .class file is a platform independent file. .exe file is able to provide less security, whereas .class file is able to provide what there? More security. Right, sir. These are the points here we understood. And in the last session, just we started what there, we understood like what there, pointers topic there. I think just up to this pointers we completed in the last class. Am I right? Let me have some discussion about it. Then after that, I'll continue the next point here. All of you observe carefully. What is the point I'm telling there? What is the title here? No, pointers are available in C and C++, but pointers are not available in Java. Now tell me, first of all, tell me what is a pointer variable? What I given the definition there? Pointer is a variable. It is able to store address locations of the data structures. Pointer is a variable. It is able to store address locations of the data structures. Where the data structures may be a variable, that means pointer is able to store address location of a variable, or maybe an array, or maybe a struct or another pointer variable. That's okay. This is a normal point. But why pointers are not required in Java? Why pointers are not supported in Java? What are the reasons why pointers are not existed in Java? If you come for this point, answer is very clear. Pointer variables required which memory allocation? No, static memory allocation. But Java is following what memory allocation? Dynamic memory allocation. Pointer variables are supported by static programming languages, but Java is what their dynamic programming language. Right, sir. Pointer variables are very much suitable in platform dependent programming languages, but Java is a platform independent programming language. Pointers are very much suitable in platform dependent programming languages, but Java is a platform independent programming language. Next one is pointers is a bit confusion oriented feature. Pointers is not much simple. It's a bit confusion oriented feature, but Java is what there, a simple programming language. It must not allow confusion oriented features. Right, then after that I given one diagram, a simple diagram I given there in the last class. No, then how, if you want to understand the difference between pointer variables and the reference variables, or else if you want to differentiate, or if you want to conclude pointers are not available in Java, I given how pointer is created in C and C++, how reference variable is created in Java. That point I have given there. By that we got some clarity. By this we are able to understand what exactly the difference between pointer variable and reference variable. That content here we are able to understand there anyway. Right, sir? Good. Anyway, now try to understand this. Try to understand this. I will explain this content here. Now try to recognize this punch here. Okay, fine. It's okay, right. Now the point is what I am telling to you. Okay, leave it, no problem. I'm going to explain the content again. Now try to observe this diagram. Everybody put more concentration what I'm going to explain to you. You are able to understand clearly the point here. Already given explanation for it, right? Fine. Let's see this. Here the question is what? What is the question here? I am telling there. In a C and C++ program, a variable is referring a block of memory. In a C and C++, a variable is referring a block of memory. That's why this variable is called a pointer variable. Yes, all of you are getting clarity up to now. In a C and C++, a variable is referring a block of memory. That's why we call this variable as what their pointer variable. But in the case of Java, what happened there? Class A, here we have taken a small a is equal to new a, object I created for class A. In the case of Java, when we create an object, here also a variable is referring a block of memory. A variable is referring a block of memory. That block of memory is called as what? Object in Java. A variable is referring block of memory in Java. So we will call this variable as a reference variable. We used to say this variable is what the reference variable in Java. But the same concept, what pointer is doing, the same thing is done by reference variable. So why don't we call it as a pointer variable? How can we say pointers are not available in Java? This is a question here. For this question, I have given some clarity by understanding how reference variables are created in Java, how pointer variables are created in C and C++. There we understood the difference. What exactly the point I have given there in the last class? If you observe this point now, listen carefully. First of all, let us talk about Java. In Java, how objects are created, how reference variables are created. If you understand now, easily we can differentiate pointer variable and a reference variable. Put more concentration, all of you know. Already I completed explanation for it, but for the sake of your understanding, once again I'm telling them. All of you are okay? All of you are ready for it now? Right, let's understand it. Sorry. This is class A. Class A, I've taken open and closed some implementation. Here, A small a is equal to new A. I created an object. Object creation statement is available. A small a is equal to new A. Observe carefully. Next one is after that, who will execute the Java code? JVM. JVM will execute the Java code. In Java, there is a memory. What is this memory actually? Heap memory. This heap memory is controlled by a person. Separate person is assigned to control this heap memory. That person is whom? That person is what? Heap manager. Heap manager can create objects inside the heap memory. Remember this point. Okay, fine. When JVM executes this intersection, what is this intersection? No, a small a is equal to new a. Immediately, JVM will go to class A, where it will recognize instance variables. It will calculate minimal memory size for the object. Then immediately, JVM will send a request to the heap manager about to create an object with the some memory size. JVM will send a request to the heap manager about to create an object with a particular memory size. Then heap manager will search for the required block of the memory in heap memory. If the required block of the memory is available, heap manager will create that memory, will assign that memory for JVM requirement. The block of the memory which is assigned by heap manager for JVM for Java application in the heap memory, this block of memory is called as what there? An object. So object is not any other one. Object is a block of memory inside the heap memory. Yes, sir. All of you are getting it or not? Okay. See, in a heap memory, how many objects are created by JVM? How many objects are created by Java application in heap memory? So many objects. It's not like exactly one object. Depending on our requirement, so many objects we are able to create. But when we create multiple objects, we need some identity for each and every object or not. Say, for example, all of you are sitting in front of me. If I want to call each and every person individually, I need your identity or not. Similarly, in heap memory, multiple objects are available. When objects are created, heap manager wants to access that object one by one, so it requires some identity or not. Because of that reason, whenever object is created at heap memory, automatically heap manager will provide one unique identity for each and every object. Similarly, for this object also, one unique identity is provided in the form of an integer value. Say, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, one integer value is provided or not. This is an identity for this object. The integer value which is provided by heap manager for each and every object as an identity is called hash code of the object. What is that identity? No, that identity is called as what there? Hash code of the object. When a hash code value is created, that hash code value was provided to whom? JVM. When hash code value is created, the hash code value was provided to whom? JVM. Now JVM is converting that hash code value to its a hexadecimal form. JVM is converting the hash code value to what there? Its hexadecimal form. Hexadecimal form of hash code is called as what? A reference value of the object. Hexadecimal form of hash code is called as what? A reference value of the object. When a reference value is created, that reference value is assigned to a variable. That variable is called as what there? A reference variable. That variable is called as what there? A reference variable. Yes, guys, all of you get my point or not? That variable is called as what there? A reference variable. That's clear? All of you are getting clarity on these points now? Okay. Now understand this. A reference variable is able to store reference value of the object. That is hexadecimal form of the hash code. Hash code is an unique identity provided by heap manager for each and every object. Hash code is not address location. A reference value is not address location. A reference variables are not storing address location. But here in C and C++, pointer variable is storing address location or not? In C and C++, pointer variables are storing address location or not? But reference variables are not storing address location. Reference variables are storing object reference value. Now, if you understand the difference between pointer variable and reference variable, pointer variable is able to refer a block of memory by storing its address location. But a reference variable is able to refer a block of memory, that is an object, by storing object reference value, where object reference value is a hexadecimal form of hash code, where hash code is an unique identity provided by heap manager in the form of an integer value for each and every object. So hash code, that means reference variable is different, pointer variable is different, both are not same, but both are referring objects only. The way to refer these objects, the way to refer this block of memory is totally different. So because of that reason, there is no concept of pointers in the case of what? Java. Pointers are restricted. Pointers are restricted up to C and C++. They're not available in what there? Java. Yes, sir, got it or not? All right. After understanding this point, now here we are having a question. Here we are having a question. What about this question here we have to understand there? I have one important interview question now. Here my question is, all of you observe carefully. What are the differences between pointer variable and a reference variable? What are the differences between pointer variables and reference variables? This is my question. As we understood the points, guys, now tell me what exactly the differences are available for pointer variables and reference variables. That very first one, here what I am telling it, the very first one, first question, first answer is what there? Where, in which programming languages pointers are existed? Can you tell me? In which programming languages no pointer variables are available? In what programming languages no? C and C++. Now tell me, similarly, where reference variables are existed now? Reference variables are available in Java. Reference variables are available in where? Java. That's point number one. Right. Point number two, how pointers are referring a block of memory, how reference variable is referring a block of memory. If you observe this point now, pointer variables are able to refer a block of memory. Pointer variables are able to refer a block of memory by storing its address location. By storing the address location. Pointer variables are able to refer to a block of memory by storing address locations. All right. Next one is similarly. What about these reference variables? Actually, reference variables are able to refer a block of memory. Are able to refer a block of memory. A block of memory. Here, the block of memory in Java is what there? An object. Am I right or not? An object. By storing objects a reference value. By storing objects, what their reference value. Observe carefully. Objects, what their reference value. All right. Now here I need to give clarity. What is the reference value of the object? What is the meaning of reference value of the object? Where object reference value is the hexadecimal form of hash code. Where hexadecimal form of what there? Hash code. All right, sir. Observe carefully. Where hexadecimal form of hash code. But where what is this hash code actually? I given in the diagram. What is this hash code here? Where hash code is an unique identity. Hash code is a unique identity. Where hash code is an unique identity for each and every object. For each and every object provided by heap manager in the form of an integer value. That's it. In the form of an integer value. That's it. Come again, guess. What's the point I said to you? Reference variables are able to refer a block of memory, that is object, by storing objects reference value. Where objects reference value is the hexadecimal form of hash code. Where hash code is an unique identity for each and every object provided by heap manager in the form of an integer value. Sir, all of you are getting it or not? All right, next one is after that. Point number 3, observe carefully. Pointer variables are very much suitable in static programming languages, and they require static memory allocation. Okay, and they require static memory allocation. That's okay. Similarly, what's the next point here I'm telling there? Reference variables are very much suitable in dynamic programming languages, and they require dynamic memory allocation. Guys, can you tell me what is static memory allocation? Tell me, what is static memory allocation? Memory allocation at what time? Compilation time. Memory allocation at runtime is what? Dynamic memory allocation. Pointer variables are at static, but reference variables are at what time? They're dynamic. So static variable, that means pointer variables require static memory allocation, but reference variables require what? Their dynamic memory allocation. Right? These are the basic differences, no? But out of all these differences, no, this is the main point. This difference we have to say mainly when interviewer is asking this particular question to you. Yes, sir. All of you are getting it or not? That's okay, fine. Leave this point here. All right. After completion of this total point here, up to now, in the differences between Java and others topic, nearly how many differences we completed here? 4 differences we completed. What 4 differences? No, C and C++ are static, whereas Java is what? Dynamic. Next one is what? The preprocessor is required in C++, but preprocessor is not required in Java. C and C++ are platform dependent, whereas Java is what? There platform independent. Next one is what? There pointers are required in C++, but pointers are not required in what? There Java. Only these points here we understood. All of you are okay or not? All of you understand it or not? Now let's move on to the next point. Next difference here. Now try to understand this now. Now difference number 5. The difference is what? There multiple inheritance is not possible. Multiple inheritance is not possible in Java. Multiple inheritance is not possible in Java. Again, I'm telling there why I'm talking about these differences like this now. Immediately, if you are getting any interview in outside, in your resume, you may provide the technologies like what there, C, C++, Java, and so on in our resume. Then by seeing the technologies list, interviewer may ask a question to you. Tell me some differences between Java and C, C++. Then definitely there we have to talk some differences. As we specified these many technologies in our resume, definitely we have to give some clarity. That's why I'm giving all these points here. At the same time, we are going to understand clearly Java is completely a different programming language. C, C++ are completely a different programming languages now. So no relation between Java, C, C++. Why? Because in outside, most of the people are thinking, if you want to learn Java, first you have to learn C++. If you want to learn C++, first you have to learn C. People are thinking in this way. But this is totally wrong classification. It's totally wrong analysis. To learn Java, no need to have any prerequisite. Directly, you can come to Java. Directly, we can come to Java. In which way we are learning C, C++ initially, directly we can learn Java. Java is a fundamental course. Core Java is a fundamental course. For this fundamental course, what is the need of again other fundamental courses? Not mandatory. Core Java is itself is a very startup course for everybody. So directly we can learn C Java programming language, Core Java. That's why as part of that I'm giving these many differences, no, but try to understand it. All right, sir. Multiple inheritance is not possible in Java. All right, sir. Multiple inheritance is not possible in Java. Right, clear? All of you are getting clarity on these points, no? All right, sir. It's a 4. Now it's okay, fine. Right, sir. Multiple inheritance is not possible in Java. Right. Observe carefully. Before going to understand whether multiple inheritance is possible or not possible in Java, first of all, tell me what is multiple inheritance. Before understanding what is multiple inheritance, first of all, tell me what is inheritance and where this inheritance concept is available. From where this inheritance concept is available. Right. If we come for all these points, if we want to know all these points, first we have to understand what is an object oriented programming language. First we have to understand this. After that we are going to understand what is inheritance, what is multiple inheritance, why it is not possible in Java, why it is possible in other programming languages in Python. All the points we are going to analyze. But first of all, what we have to understand, what exactly the meaning of an object oriented programming language. Guys, all of you are okay or not? All of you are following or not? All right, so this analysis is very, very important. The foundation now. Listen carefully. I want to say Java is an object-oriented programming language. But how can you say Java is an object-oriented programming language? Directly, I'm giving a definition to you. Try to understand it. If any programming language representing data in the form of objects as per object oriented features. Come again, what is the definition I said to you? If any programming language representing data in the form of objects as per object oriented features, then that programming language is what there, an object oriented programming language. That's it. That is a simple point, very simple, straightforward definition. We require this point. In the future, we are going to talk about this number of times now. Come again, what is the definition I've given there? In the case of this object-oriented programming language, no? What is the simple definition I've given there? All right, sir. Answer is very clear. If any programming language representing data in the form of objects, as per the object oriented features, then that programming language is called object oriented programming languages. That's it. Come on guys, what I'm telling there, if any programming language represents data in the form of objects as per the object oriented programming languages, then the programming language is what there, object oriented programming language. Okay, fine. Listen, data must be represented in the form of objects or not? The data representation is as per what their object oriented features. The data representation is as per what their object oriented features. Am I right or not? All right, sir. Now observe carefully. What are the various object oriented features in general? In object oriented programming languages, data must be represented in the form of objects only. Okay, but as for the object oriented features, but what are the various object oriented features to represent data in the form of objects? Yes, sir. All of you are following or not? All right, sir. Now I'm telling there are seven number of object oriented features. There are seven number of object oriented features. There are seven number of object oriented features to represent data in the form of objects. What are the seven number of object oriented features to represent data in the form of objects now? All right, sir. All of you observe carefully. The first one is like what there? Class. The very first feature is what there? Class. Next one is what there? An object. Next one is what there? Encapsulation. Next one is what there? An abstraction. Next one is what there? Inheritance. Next one is what there? Polymorphism. Next one is what there? Message passing. That's it. Come on, guys. Now tell me, all of you observe carefully. How many object-oriented features are available? Seven number of object-oriented features are available to represent data in the form of objects. What are the seven number of object-oriented features? No. First one is what there? Class. Next one is what there? Object. Next one is what there? Encapsulation. Next one is what there? Abstraction. Next one is what? Inheritance. Polymorphism. Message passing. In general, people are not including this message passing, but it is one of the object-oriented feature. Some others are not including this actually, but it is one of the object-oriented feature. But we have to recognize this. All right, in OOPS, I will discuss about each and every feature effectively. Yes, sir, got it or not? All right, sir. Now, out of all these object-oriented features, what I required now, inheritance is required now. What are required, sir? Now tell me. Inheritance. Why, sir? Why inheritance is required for you? Why inheritance is required? Our actual point is what there? Multiple inheritance is not possible in Java. So first of all, I have to understand what is an inheritance or not. All right, sir. That's why here I need to understand what their inheritance. Now listen carefully. What exactly the meaning of inheritance here in object-oriented programming languages? Right. Before that, understand this clearly. In object-oriented programming languages, we are going to write coding part by using classes. The first object-oriented feature is what their class. All right, in the form of classes only, we are going to write code. The how to declare these classes actually, observe carefully. Say for example, class employee. Employee is a group actually. The group is represented in the form of what there? A class. Inside the classes, we are going to declare variables and methods. What are the various variables we are able to declare now? Int envo is equal to 111. Like what next one here? String ename is equal to something else like a. Like this, we are able to declare some variables. At the same time, some methods also here we are able to declare. That depends on our requirement, what we are going to declare. All right, so now this is class employee. Similarly, here we are able to write what there? Class student. Student is also a group representation. Student is also what there? A group representation. Inside the student now, here we are able to take like what there? Say for example, string student ID is equal to, right, s-111 something else now. Then after that, string student name is equal to some bbb something else. Like this, we are able to declare. Just I'm giving classes. That means what is the meaning of class? I'm telling there, of course. What's the meaning of the class? Now tell me. Class is a group representation in Java. Not only in Java, in object orientation, class is what there? A group representation. Observe, just introduction I'm telling there what is a class. Okay, fine. Now tell me, in Java, how many classes here we are going to write? How many classes we are able to write in Java? That means in object oriented programming, how many classes we are going to write? Any number of classes we are able to write. Of course, 7 are object oriented features. That's okay. How many classes we are going to write in a program? Say for example, if you want to prepare a software for Durgasoft, what classes we are going to write in Durgasoft now? Employee, all employees are what there, one class. All students are what there, another class representation. All courses is what there, another class representation. All classrooms are what there, another class representation. All schedules are what there, another class representation. Everything we can take in the form of class or not? Everything in the form of class or not? This is a way to declare what their classes in Durgasoft. Not only here, if we take any bank application, in the bank, what are the various classes here we are going to take now? Maybe an account is representing a class. A class that account is what there is a class. Might be after this account, loan is a class, transaction is a class, employees is a class, customer is a class. Got my point or not? Like this, in any application, we can take so many classes. In any application, we can take what there? So many classes, or number of classes there we are able to take. That's clear? All of you are getting clarity on these points now? Right. Now try to understand it. After understanding these classes now, what exactly the meaning of inheritance? Before giving definition for inheritance, all of you now tell me, classes are having variables and methods or not? Classes are having variables and functions or not? Functions or methods both are same as of now. Sir, classes are having variables and methods or not? Yes, definitely. Now understand this definition now. Inheritance is a relation between classes. Come again. What's the point I'm telling there? Inheritance is what? Is a relation between classes. Then what it will provide? It will provide variables and methods from. It will provide variables and methods from one class to another class. It will provide variables and methods from one class to another class in order to improve reusability. In order to improve what their reusability, or in order to improve code reusability. More clearly, in order to improve what their code reusability. Can you tell me, guys, what is the definition for inheritance? No? Inheritance is what? Is a relation between classes. What it will do? It will provide variables and methods from one class to another class in order to improve code reusability. Practical is not required now. Just our concept is what there. Multiple inheritance is not possible in Java. Got it or not? That's the point I need to say. Further point, I'm giving inheritance. What's the meaning of inheritance? No, it's a relation between classes. It will provide variables and methods from one class to another class in order to improve what their code reusability. By this, I can give one point clearly. It will provide variables and methods from one class, where the class which is providing variables and methods is called a super class. The class which is providing variables and methods is called as what there? A super class. To another class, the class which is getting variables and methods, the class which is getting variables and methods is called as what there? Subclass. The class which is providing variables and methods to a class is called as what? Superclass. The class which is getting variables and methods is called as what there? Subclass. Sir, all of you are getting it or not? Okay, this is what exactly the meaning of terminology for superclass and subclass. Simple, sir. Point is very simple. Parent-child relationship is nothing but inheritance. Parent and child. Am I right or not? Parent is giving his properties to the child or not? So parent is a superclass. Child is getting properties from the parent or not? The child is what their subclass. Inheritance is like what their parent-child relationship. Parents are giving properties to the child. Child is getting properties. The child can reuse that properties. That's it. Not more than that. All right. Now, after understanding this, I'm asking one question there. Now try to answer for it. The main advantage of inheritance is what there? Code reusability. What's the main advantage of inheritance is code reusability. Am I right or not? Okay, right. Now observe carefully. But how many types of inheritances are available? How many types of inheritances are available? Initially, in object orientation, there are two types of inheritances. Come again. Initially in object orientation, how many types of inheritances are available? Two types of inheritances are available. I'm not talking about all the types now. 5 types are available, but initially only 2 types now. What are the 2 types of inheritances? Can know? First one is single inheritance. First one is what they now tell me? Single inheritance. And second one is what there? Multiple inheritance. Come again. All right, sir. What is the main advantage of inheritance? No, code reusability. How many types of inheritances are available initially? 2 types. What are the 2 types of inheritances? No, single inheritance, and second one is what there? Multiple inheritance. For the sake of you, I'm giving remaining types also, but not required now at present. My actual destination is what there? Multiple inheritance only. If I talk about, if I give clarity on it, then I may go for my point actually. But actually, for the sake of you, I'm giving clarity there. Understand it? No? All right, sir. On the basis of the above 2 inheritances, what's the point, guys? Now tell me. On the basis of the above 2 inheritances, there are 3 more inheritances. There are 3 more inheritances. Initially 2 only. On the basis of these 2, 3 more inheritances are defined. What are the 3 more inheritances? No. First one is multi-level inheritance. What's the third one, sir? Multi-level inheritance. Next one is what there after this? No, hierarchical inheritance. Next one is what there? Hierarchical inheritance. Next one is what there? Hybrid inheritance. Next one is what there? Hybrid inheritance. Now tell me overall, how many types of inheritances are available in object orientation? No, 5 types. What are the 5 types? No, single, multiple, multi-level, hierarchical, hybrid. But out of all these 5, we don't require last 3. We required only first 2. Why? Because our concept is what there? Multiple inheritance is not possible in Java. Why it is not possible in Java? We need to understand. If you want to understand why it is not possible in Java, first what is this multiple inheritance? We have to understand. That's why I'm talking about all these concepts now. Analysis is very, very important. Then once if we take any particular concept, no, we have to analyze clearly the total particle. That's why I'm giving this total surrounding information. Now try to understand it. Now let's understand what is single inheritance here now. What exactly the meaning of single inheritance? All of you understand it. Single inheritance. Everybody, single inheritance. What's the meaning of this single inheritance? Observe carefully. It is a relation between classes. Every inheritance is a relation between classes. Now observe carefully. It will provide variables and methods. It will provide variables and methods from. It will provide variables and methods from only one superclass 2. It will provide variables and methods from only one superclass 2, one or more subclasses. Come again. What is the definition I've given for single inheritance? It is a relation between classes. It will provide variables and methods from only one superclass to one or more number of subclasses. That means parent should be one, only one. Parent is only one, but any number of childs. Single parent can share their properties to multiple childs or not. That is called as what there? Single inheritance. Understand this point clearly now. I want to show some diagrammatic representation here. By that we are able to get some clarity. All of you observe carefully. All right, sir. In general, I'm going to represent inheritance like this. This is a general representation actually. Now try to observe carefully. This is a class A, that is superclass I want to take. This is a child class. Only one superclass, but any number of child classes we can take, including one child class. Inheritance is represented with the up arrow. Up arrow is what their inheritance. Header part of the up arrow is representing superclass. Trailer part of the up arrow is representing what their subclass. Now this header part is representing what their superclass. Tile pod is representing what their subclass. Now inside this superclass, we have some variables and methods. Int I is equal to 10. Void m1 method. This is what their method. Some function we can understand. If you know C, then we can call it as a function. Now tell me, this I want to say class A. Now this I want to say like what their class B. Observe carefully. In Java, inheritance is represented with the extends keyword. With what keyword there? Extends keyword. Now tell me, variables and methods are defined in superclass. This is acting as what their superclass. Now this is acting as what, sir? Now tell me, subclass. This is acting as what their subclass. If we declare variables and methods in a superclass, that we can reuse in the subclass. That variables and methods of superclass can reuse in what their subclasses. Am I right or not? Now see this one. I is equal to I plus 10 I have written. Directly I am calling what method here? No, M1 method here I am calling. I is equal to I plus 10 semicolon. Next one is what there? Directly we are calling what method here? M1 method. Actually now tell me where I declare I variable in the superclass. Where I'm accessing I variable in the subclass. Means that we reused variable I from superclass A to subclass B or not? We are using variable of superclass inside the subclass or not? This is called as what their reusability. Where I declare my M1 method in the superclass, but where I am using this M1 method in the subclass, again this is nothing but what their reusability. In the superclass we declared variables and methods, but in the subclasses we are reusing that variables and methods. This is called as what their reusability. Guys, all of you are getting it or not? Now tell me here, how many superclasses are available? Come on, how many superclasses are available? Only one superclass. But how many subclasses are available? One or number of any number of subclasses are available. This is exactly the meaning of what their single inheritance. Right, that's okay, fine. This diagram I will paste in the document. Don't worry for it. Definition is okay. Now let's move on to the second one, multiple inheritance. Let's move on to the next one here, multiple inheritance. What exactly this multiple inheritance? Now tell me, what is the definition for single inheritance? Now tell me, guys, what we understood the definition for single inheritance? No, it's the relation between classes. It will provide variables and methods from what? How many superclasses? No, only one superclass do one or more number of subclasses. Now similarly, tell me, what is this multiple inheritance? Now it's a relation between classes. Come again, it's a relation between classes. What it will do? No, it will provide, listen carefully, variables and methods from more than one superclass, from more than one superclass to one or more number of subclasses, one or more subclasses. Have you got the difference between single inheritance and multiple inheritance? No. In a single inheritance, how many superclasses are available? Only one. But in a multiple inheritance, how many superclasses are available? Come on, more than one. So it's a relation between classes. It will provide variables and methods from more than one superclass to one or more number of subclasses. Right. Before that, I want to say one point here. Java does support single inheritance. Java does support what there is single inheritance. Now I'm giving clarity. Multiple inheritance I've given there. Answer is what there. Multiple inheritance I'm giving conclusion. Java does not support what there? Multiple inheritance. Multiple inheritance I've given definition, but Java does not support multiple inheritance. First understand it. What is the representation of multiple inheritance? Right. All of you put more concentration here. All of you understand this now? Sir, why I'm taking this much of time? We explain all these points now. When interviewer is asking this question, why multiple inheritance is not possible in Java, we should not get back. We should not off your mouth there in front of that interviewer. You must give the total clarity. Why this is happened? Why is the problem there? That everything we have to understand. That's why I'm giving the total right from scratch. I'm giving the total content here. But of course, again, object orientation topic I will start. where again inheritance topic I will start. There I will give much clarity. But here the point is what there, why multiple inheritance is not possible in Java? That's the question. For that we need to give all these points here. Okay, now observe carefully. This is my superclass A. This is my superclass B. These two are two superclasses. Class A. Then after that, this is what there, class B. Next one is after that. Yeah, this is like what I'm telling now. Subclass, a single subclass here I'm taking. Right? How we are able to represent this inheritance relationship now? We can understand this. This is one thing, and this is another one. This is another one. All right. Now observe carefully. This is a class C. Class C. Here the relationship is with what there extends. Extends is a keyword in Java to represent inheritance. Okay. Now tell me. By seeing this total representation, how many superclasses can I have taken? Two superclasses. How many subclasses I have taken here? One subclass. All right. Observe carefully. Int I is equal to 10. Void M1 method. Assume it. Here we are implementing X implementation. Inside this M1 method, what implementation is available here? X implementation. This is in class A superclass. Now in class B superclass, what I am telling there, int j is equal to 20. Void M2 method. Inside this void M2 method, X implementation. Then after this, here we are having this content. Int j is equal to 20, void M2, X implementation. Of course, now it's not like X implementation. I want to say it's Y implementation, for example. This is like what there, Y implementation. Yes, sir, clear? Next one, after this. Inside this class C, extends A and B. Inside this class C, what points here we understood there? As a child class for A and B, it is able to reuse members of A and B or not? C can reuse members of A and B or not? Let's see this one. I is equal to I plus 10. J is equal to J plus 10. I can access M1 method. I can access M2 method. Am I right or not? C is a child class for A and B. C is a subclass to A and B superclasses. Whatever you declared in superclass A and B, that we can reuse inside what? Child class C. So I variable and J variable both are declared in two superclasses that both we reused in the child class. M1 method and M2 method both are declared in the superclass A and B that we can reuse in the child class C. M1 method call and M2 method call. Yes, sir. All of you are getting clarity up to know. This is exactly what their multiple inheritance. A given definition, what is single inheritance and what is multiple inheritance. In the case of single inheritance, one superclass, one subclass. In the case of multiple inheritance, two superclasses, one subclass. But here the point is what? Single inheritance is okay, no problem. It is possible in Java. We don't have any problem with the single inheritance. It's a clear-cut information. But as per the Java rules and regulations, no, multiple inheritance is not possible in Java. In Java, multiple inheritance is not possible. But here the question is, why multiple inheritance is not possible in Java? Of course, here we are not getting any problem here up to now, but still it is not possible in Java. Why multiple inheritance is not possible in Java? That we have to understand. Yes, sir, all of you are okay or not? Right, sir. Gradually, people are coming into the sleeping now. Every day I'm giving this is 2 minutes of time I'm spending time now. So when I'm thinking to give an important point, no, but people are not ready to receive my important point. So important point, definitely interviewer may ask this question, then we have to give answer for it. Then only we are able to get jobs. Up to single inheritance and up to this half of the multiple inheritance definition, people are understood clearly. But when I'm talking about it is not possible in Java, by the time people are sleeping. Actually, what we are discussing, actually, just remember this point, no? What is actually the original point here, no? I'm trying to say multiple inheritance is not possible in Java. They understood clearly what is single inheritance, what is inheritance, the total background story up to multiple inheritance. The moment when I'm telling multiple inheritance is not possible, then now they are sleeping. What is the use of it, sir? Huh? Tomorrow onwards, I'll bring some chocolates to you. If any of you are sleeping, they'll throw the chocolate to you. Huh? At the age of 20 or 22, at the time of 4:30 or maybe 5 or 5:30, people are sleeping in the sense, it shows clearly how much hard work you have done yesterday night. Huh? Right, sir. Are you working in any BPO center or any nighttime jobs? No? No, no, you are not working there, right? So why you are wasting your time at night times? No? Please remember this. God has given two timings for us. One is what there, day, and other one is night. God has given clear-cut slots for us. Schedule is very clear for a human being. Daytime working, nighttime sleeping. How much work you are doing for our human being body, that much of rest is required. So nighttime, 12 hours of time, nighttime, just take rest. 12 hours of time, daytime, just do work. That is actual schedule that was given by God. But what our people are doing there, our people are doing reversely. Night time they are working and daytime they are sleeping now. How it is, sir? This is against to the nature. Because of this kind of against to the nature kind of things only, might be tsunamis or coronavirus, this kind of activities are coming there. Don't be in against to the nature. Be in the way of path what nature has given for us. Sir, got it or not? So don't sleep. Important topic. Almost all you understood everything clearly. But when we are, see, the point is what there. A person might be having very good hard work. He had a field of might be something else. Then he had very good agriculture. He had 10 acres of land. But every year he's getting losses now. All right, by seeing his situation, God what thought about it. I need to give some benefit to him. That's why then what he has given there, that God has taken a bag of gold and everything, gold and diamonds and everything. He kept in his field at a location. The farmer, as usual, is coming to the field and is taking some kind of activity in the field there. All right, that farmer went to like what there, went to the location where that bag is available. Whenever he's coming near to that bag, no, what happened there, what he has done there, just he looked at top, no, he's praying to the God, Are God, why you are giving these many problems to me? Then he passed away that bag, he passed over the bag, he didn't see that bag. Your situation is also like that. Everything you understood almost all 1 hour to 15 minutes now. Last conclusion point of you are sleeping. Ready? All of you ready? Can I complete this point now? Can I complete this topic now? Right, sir. Now what is the point here? Multiple inheritance is not possible in Java. That point here we have to talk. What is multiple inheritance we understood. But why it is not possible in Java? That we have to understand. Clear or not? Okay. Now observe carefully. As usual, once again I want to take this multiple inheritance structure. No, try to observe this clearly. This is class A. This is a class B. This is a class A. And this is what there, class B. Nice. Now I need to take one superclass, one subclass. For two superclasses, I need to take one subclass. That is the meaning of multiple inheritance. Now, what we have to provide here? Now this is like what there? Inheritance relationship between all the classes. Now this is class C. Class C. Here this is what there extends. Now, as usual, observe carefully what I am telling there in a class A superclass. No, in a class A superclass, I am going to take in die is equal to 10. Void M1 method where some X implementation. This is my class A. Similarly, in my class B, please recognize this. Previous diagram, if you have to there, where I have given it J is equal to 20. Now I want to change it into I is equal to 20. In a class A superclass, into I is equal to 10. In class B superclass, into I is equal to 20. Variable is same. Variable name is same, but different value we provided or not. Nice. Next one is after that void M1 method again. Same method I declared again. Now inside this M1 method, but implementation part is different. Why implementation? Now tell me what we observed in between class A and class B. Between class A and class B, what we observed there? Same variable with a different value, same method with a different implementation. Am I right or not? In two super classes, we have taken same variable with a different value, same method with a different implementation. We have taken or not? Right. All of you understand it clearly. I is equal to I plus 10 I have written. Now I'm calling M1 method. I accessed M1 method. Now tell me, all of you now tell me. When I access the I variable, that I variable value must be taken from superclass or not? Definitely here, I variable is not defined inside the class C. That is defined in superclass only. So I variable value must be taken from superclass. But here the question is, from which is superclass? From which is superclass? We are getting I variable value. For example, if you think I value is coming from class A superclass, in a class A superclass, what is the value for I? 10. Now. I is equal to I plus 10. I is equal to 10 plus 10. What is the value here? 20. Is it 20? For example, if we take I value from class B superclass, in a class B superclass, what is I value? 20. So I is equal to I plus 10. I is equal to 20 plus 10 now. What is the value here? We are getting 30. Is it 30? Here we have to decide from which superclass that I value is coming. From which superclass that I value is coming. I variable is defined in two superclasses. When I access I variable in a class C, from which superclass that I value is coming, that we have to define, that we have to decide. Point number one. When I call M1 method, M1 method is not defined in a class C. M1 method is available in a class A and a class B. Now tell me, when I call this M1 method, from which class M1 method is coming? From which superclass M1 method is coming? If you think M1 method is coming from class A superclass, where X implementation is going to be happen, is it X implementation? If you think M1 method is coming from class B superclass, where which implementation is available for M1 method? Y implementation. Is it Y implementation? Tell me guys, you have to decide it now. It's a question not only for you, it's a question for compiler and JVM. It's a question for compiler and JVM. When we access I variable, from which superclass I variable value is coming? When I access a method M1, from which superclass M1 method is coming? Now it's a confusion for compiler or not? It's a confusion for compiler and JVM or not? Why? Because in the case of inheritance, if we declare something in superclasses, that we can access in the subclasses. If we declare something in superclasses, that we have to access in what classes? Then subclasses. Am I right or not? So whenever we access I variable, that I variable value has to come from which superclass? It is a question. When we access M1 method, from which superclass that M1 method implementation is coming? It's a question that we are unable to decide. It's an ambiguity situation. It's an ambiguity situation. It's a confusion oriented situation. So because of this confusion, Java people are given conclusion that even though second case is not giving any confusion, because of this third case, the total multiple inheritance is avoided. The total multiple inheritance is not allowed inside the Java applications. Of course, with the second case in the middle diagram, we didn't have any problem there even. But because of the third situation, because of the third case, no, Sun Microsystems has decided that they don't want to allow the total multiple inheritance part of its applications. The complete multiple inheritance, they don't want to allow part of their applications. They have taken decision that finally multiple inheritance was not allowed. Multiple inheritance was totally restricted inside the Java application. Because of this reason only, multiple inheritance is not existed in the case of Java. Yes, sir. All of you get my point or not? Now this is a clear-cut awareness here we can understand. Now let's see this. Now I want to give some conclusion here, conclusion related point here. Java does not support multiple inheritance. Why? Because what is the reason here? In the case of, observe carefully, in the case of multiple inheritance, in the case of what there? Multiple inheritance, if we declare the same variable with different values, And if we declare the same method with a different implementation in both the super classes, and if we access that variable and a method in the respective subclass, and if we access that variable and method in the respective subclasses, then which is superclass, then from which is superclass, the provided variable value is coming, and from which is superclass the accessed method implementation is coming, is a confusion state. Guys, understand it. My context is very much clear. In the case of multiple index, if we declare the same variable with the different values, and if we declare the same method with the different implementations in both the superclasses, and if we access that variable and method in the respective subclasses, then from which superclasses the provided variable value is coming, and from which superclasses the accessed method implementation is coming, is a confusion state, is an ambiguity situation, is a confusion oriented feature, is a confusion state. All right, is a confusion state. Okay, fine. Then what is the next conclusion here? It is a confusion state. Right or not? So multiple inheritance is able to provide confusion to the developers. So Java is able to provide confusion to the developers. But Java is what they're actually. But Java is a simple programming language. But Java is what there? Simple programming language. In the case of pointers, we have seen already. Java is what there? But Java is a simple programming language. It must not allow confusion-oriented features. Confusion-oriented features like what there? Like multiple inheritance. So due to this reason, multiple inheritance is not existed in Java. Due to this reason, multiple inheritance is not possible in the case of Java. Sir, all of you are getting it or not? Okay, up to that is okay. But my question is, how multiple inheritance is restricted in Java? Theoretically, we understood multiple inheritance is not allowed in Java. But what some people have done not to allow multiple inheritance in their applications? No. What Sana has done not to allow multiple inheritance in their applications? No. What manipulation they have done? All right, now I'm giving clarity. Try to understand it. No. All right, let me give this diagram here. Just give a minute of time. Let me copy this. For the sake of you, I'm giving this diagram here so that you can understand clearly the representation. Then after that, now observe carefully. To avoid multiple inheritance in Java applications, Java has defined extends keyword. Answer my point here. To avoid multiple inheritance in Java applications, Java has defined extends keyword in such a way that to allow only one superclass name, in such a way that to allow only one superclass name, not to allow more than one superclass name, in a class syntax. Now understand it clearly. What extends keyword is defined to avoid multiple inheritance in Java applications. Java has defined extends keyword in such a way that to allow only one superclass name, not to allow more than one superclass name in what there? In a class syntax. Example code I'm telling to you, observe carefully. Class A extends B. Okay, it's valid. Status is what there? Valid. Now tell me, after extends keyword, how many class names are provided? No, only one class name. That is a super class name. A is a subclass and B is a superclass. Now it is valid. Another example I'm telling to you, observe carefully. For example, class A extends B comma C. Extends what, sir? Now tell me B comma C. What is the status now? Extends B comma C. What is the status now? Valid or invalid now? Valid or invalid now? Invalid. This is invalid. Why? Because extends keyword is able to allow only one superclass name. It should not allow even comma. If you are providing comma in the sense, what is the meaning of it now? You are trying to provide next value, right? Even it is not allowing comma, there immediately we are able to get an error like what there. What is that error now? That curly brace is expecting here in place of comma. Curly brace in the sense that is the termination of the class syntax. Right or not? So this is invalid case. More than one superclass is not allowed in a single subclass. That's it, guys. Now this is what exactly the intention of. This is the meaning of like what there. Multiple inheritance is not possible in Java. Clear? All of you are getting clarity on my point now? All right, sir. Now let's rewind the content what I discussed up to now. In the case of this multiple inheritance, just try to understand one time here. You only now give clarity for me. First of all, I've given definition for object-oriented programming language. Tell me what is an object-oriented programming language? No. If any programming language represents data in the form of objects as per what? Object oriented features, then that programming language is what? Object oriented programming language. How many number of object oriented features are available? 7. What are the 7 number of features now? Class, object, encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, polymorphism, and message passing. Then where I required only one topic. What is the topic now? Inheritance. In Whoop's topic, I will discuss everything clearly, but our context is what? There multiple inheritance. That's why I need to talk about what their inheritance. Now tell me, what is this inheritance actually? It's a relation between classes. It will provide variables and methods from one class to another class. Here one class is what there? Super class. Another class is what there? Subclass. In order to improve what there? Code reusability. What is the main advantage of inheritance? No, code reusability. Initially, in object orientation, how many types of inheritances are available? Two types. What are the two types of inheritances? No, single inheritance and multiple inheritance. On the base of these two inheritances, now how many types of inheritances are defined? Three more inheritances are defined. What are the three more inheritances? No, multi-level inheritance. Next one is what there? Hierarchical inheritance. Next one is what there? Hybrid inheritance. I don't require the last three things now. Right, I require single inheritance. Can you tell me what is single inheritance now? What is single inheritance? It is a relation between classes. It will provide variables and methods from only one superclass to how many number of subclasses now? One or more subclasses now. Java does support or does not support single inheritance? Does support. Java does support single inheritance. What is this multiple inheritance now? It is a relation between classes. It will provide variables and methods from more than one superclass to one or more subclasses. Now tell me, Java does or does not support? Does not support what there? Multiple inheritance. Why, sir? Why Java does not support multiple inheritance? Can you tell me the reason for it? No. In the case of multiple inheritance, if we declare same variable with the different values, same method with the different implementations in both the superclasses, and if we access that variable and that method in the respective subclass, from which superclass that variable value is coming, from which superclass that method implementation is coming, is a confusion state, is an ambiguity situation. This ambiguity situation will make that multiple inheritance is a confusion oriented feature. But Java is what there? A simple programming language. It must not allow confusion oriented features like what there? Multiple inheritance. Because of this reason, multiple inheritance is not existed, is not available in Java. Okay, good. We understood this point here totally. But how does that multiple inheritance is not allowed inside the Java? What Java has done it? What Java has done the implementation not to allow multiple inheritance in its applications. Where the point is what I have given there, to avoid multiple inheritance in Java applications, Java has defined what keyword there? Extends keyword in such a way that to allow only one superclass name, not to allow more than one superclass name in a class syntax, in a subclass syntax. Then example I have given there. Example class A extends B, okay, valid, only one superclass name. But here what we provided no, class A extends B comma C. B comma C in the sense what there? How many superclasses no? Two superclasses here. That's why its status is what there? Valid or invalid now? Invalid. Its status is what there? Invalid. This is the total awareness here we have to understand. Why multiple inheritance is not possible in Java. And I want to give one point clarity, guys. Observe carefully. Right, sir. Observe carefully. The point is what? At the starting point of this classes, I need to take classes like this only. A bit slower panel I'm going to take. Why? Because we are in a different tracks. But you need to understand my track. Once you are in my track, no, then we are going to have effectively the classes now. But don't mind for it. A bit slow man only. I'm taking the class. Moreover, instead of my speed, I register of my slow. But my main concentration is on what there, your understanding level. If I say one point, that point you have to understand. That's why I have to read your mindset first of all. Once if I got grip on all of your mindsets, no, then I can go with my own way. Answer my point here. Before object orientation, all these are fundamentals. So I'm going to make you too strong. I want to make you, all of you, to be strong in the foundation. If we are having strong foundation, the technologies may be core Java or maybe advanced Java or maybe Python or whatever it may be, anything we can understand easily. But this much of strong foundation is required. This is very startup for programming. Don't be hurry on this foundation part here. In the foundation, if we are strong, the remaining thing will be easily we can understand. Moreover, my philosophy of teaching this class is what there. It should be a permanent solution. It should be a final solution. Once if we complete courses in my classes, in the next 25 years of time, you should not come back for core Java. We should not come back for any institute to search for any other courses here. It's a permanent solution for your life. It will be the permanent solution. Next 25 years of time, you should not change your technology. You should not check back for any other courses here at any other institute. So the permanent solution I'm providing there. Moreover, I'm telling already in the very first class now. Up to how much I'm going to discuss the content in our Java classes. No, as of now, the latest version of the Java is 19. Up to 19, I committed. I'm going to talk up to Java 19 version in our batch. By completing your batch, meanwhile, if Java 20 is coming, I don't have any problem. Within one day, I can update. I can teach even Java 20 version also in our classes. So up to the latest version. But as of now, at present in the outside market, what version is going on there? Maybe some companies are using 8, some companies are using 10. Recently, very recently, I met with one student, one of my previous student. In the casual discussion, I asked to him on which platform we are working there. He said to me, we are working in a migration project. Okay, migration. Which technology you are migrating? I asked him. No, sir. Previously, I have been worked with Java 8 version. Now my company has given a task for me. Try to migrate your project from Java 8 version to Java 17 version. It's not because of changing the Java version. It is a simple setup only. But changing all the features from old programming, old application to new application, that every feature we have to change. Some new version features are available. That features we have to implement in the application there by changing to Java 17 version. That means now market is slowly, gradually changing their Java versions now. Got my point or not? So we are not going to see much more time Java 8 version or Java 9 version in the market. Definitely we are going to see the latest versions in the market. Market in the sense in the software industry. That's an example here I'm telling that. But anyway, whatever it may be, as per my responsibility, which version is going to be used in the software industry, that doesn't matter for me. But as per my responsibility is what new version was provided by Oracle Corporation, up to that I have to teach. If I teach up to Java 19 version, let them to use any version in their company. You are going to be work with that particular project or not. Once you are having awareness on up to Java 19 version. So because of that reason, as per my responsibility, I'm going to talk up to Java 19 version. But you need to have some patience to understand each and every content. Again, I'm telling to you, my orientation is contentful orientation. Complete subject related, subject view. Once you are strong in subject now, easily you are able to get job. No need to think about the references or backdoor jobs or nothing else in outside. In official way, in a straightforward way, we are going to get the job. Once you are in contentful. But again, I'm telling that in outside, maybe entire market, 90% of the market is going on with a shortcut methodology to learn the subjects. It's a waste of time. Clearly, I'm telling that maybe temporarily you may be satisfied with that. It may not work out for the long term. If you want to see your software career, if you want to see your career in software industry for the long time, you should be contentful. You should be contentful. Even my philosophy is also be the same thing. If you know subject, you can survive at any hard situation even. But if you're not having content, no, temporarily you may get the job, but your survival problem will come inside the company. Maybe within three months of time or 6 months of time, the company will not pay you if you're not having subject. If you have subject, even though companies are not having projects, no, they will not use you like a good resource. Understand my point, you know? So there's a difference between without content and with content. So, but my philosophy is what the long-term settlement, permanent settlement. Next 20 to 25 years of time, Java will not get any problem. Until that time, you should have your job opportunities or you should have your settlement, permanent life settlement in the respective companies. So by thinking about all these things, I'm trying to provide strong foundation. Definitely, if you have some patience level, if you follow my instructions there, in the next duration, we are going to understand effectively the content. Once you know the content, your life will be very simple in the next feature. But I'm telling that maybe you may get some wrong impression by somebody else in outside. But don't fall for that. Why? Because that entire market is going in a shortcut way. But the shortcut way will not run at any time here. Understand it clearly. So that's why then try to follow my instructions, try to come for the classes regularly. Be regular. Inside the classes, you know, regularity is very, very important. Why? Because now at present at starting point of it's okay. But once if I start object orientation, every class is a linked class. If you know previous class, then only you can understand next class. So regularity is very, very important. Because of that particular reason only, even for offline students also, I'm giving video support because of maintaining. Unfortunately, if you miss any one or two classes, no, if you provide videos, no, you may prepare through that videos, you may come for the next class, you may be prepared for next class. Because of that reason, I'm giving video support for everybody. Then once the class is completed, within 1 or 2 hours of time, that video is getting ready, we are uploading that video in a Google Drive. That access was given to everybody, and then automatically you are able to get video support because of this particular reason only. Otherwise, not required to provide video support for offline students, but we are providing video support even for offline students also. Try to get that benefit also. Moreover, I'm typing that every point in the document. Why? Because if I give option to you, try to write your own running notes, no, I don't know how much you are going to write. Half of the information only you are going to write. Remaining half you may not write. You may not catch even that point by point explanation. But if I write the information more than you, I'm able to write perfectly the content. That's why I'm typing every point on the document and I'm sharing the document to you. Once if this resource is created total Java, it will be, that notes will be permanent for you. At the end of the course, I will give download option to you. We can download this total soft copy. We can maintain the soft copy at our system. It should be permanent. And inside these notes, we are able, this is almost equal to Bible. There I'm going to write what there, every interview question I'm going to type, every diagram I'm going to provide, every explanation related point I'm going to provide inside this documentation. So this is almost equal to Bible. Even you may not see this much of content in any other resource also, even in the web also. Totally my analysis, what I'm giving there. So this is more advantage to you. Of course, I can give my course material maybe from office there, already is available. If you want to get it, you can get it now. But that was not immediate. That means at present notes now. This is live notes, live class notes. But that notes is what there maybe few years back I wrote that notes that we are giving there. If you want to get it, you can get it now. But as per my responsibility, the live class document also I want to provide. So I'm giving that information there. See this with very much clarity. Every point I used to give much clarity. If you study properly this document here, every point here we are able to understand. Sir, got it or not? I think so. All of you are having this classroom, class notes URL, right? Then try to utilize these notes now. Every day, just to spend 10 to 15 minutes of time on this class notes. Try to understand the content and come for the next class. There we are able to understand the content clearly. Yes, sir. Is my point is clear or not? Right, guys. That's okay, fine. And anyway, that's all for today. Then tomorrow we will see. Tomorrow we will continue the remaining points. Nearly 5 points we completed. Am I right? The remaining 4 points are available that I'm going to complete. Okay. Thank you, guys. Thanks a lot. We'll meet on tomorrow. Tomorrow see the remaining content. And Ankit. Yeah, please.
How to get a kind of preparation for Java full stack?
How to get?
How to get doing preparation for Java full stack? Because I am attending a new batch also and OOPS concept also.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Advanced Java I planned there at April 14th, 7:30 to 9. Once once this Java batch is completing at 6 o'clock, there I'm going to start frameworks.
frameworks.
Yeah, remaining like Gill or maybe your techniques at any time at morning time or maybe at afternoon time. Except these classes, you can plan for it. Okay, that's the same. It's going to be happen. See, Java courses will.
I want also UI technology and Angular frameworks.
My UI technologies. Next one is what?
Angular frameworks.
Yeah, that's going on. Might be some other trainer will take that classes, no? But before this time, 6 to that means 4:30 to up to 9, we have to assign time for me for Java. In the remaining time, we can attend for the classes at any time whenever they are started the class, no?
Another batch started on 4 p.m. now. So I am not attending.
No issues there. At morning time, at some other time, it will start. The continuously batches are going to be start. At any time, we can start for that. Remaining courses, we can start at any time there. But now this time, we are attending there 4:30 to 9 o'clock. Assign time for me for JavaScript. That means core Java, advanced Java, Hibernate, Spring Boot, microservices, web services. I'll take the responsibility. Remaining courses, you can start at any time in the remaining timings. Now. Morning 7 o'clock onwards, all courses are going to be start. You can plan for it. No, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Anything else? Java, no? First version of the Java 1996 January 23rd. First version of the Java. Then work started in 1991 లో. అంతే. ఇది జావా కోర్ జావా క్లాస్ ఎట్లా ఉంటుంది మీరు ఏదైనా ఫుల్ స్టాక్ తీసుకునే పని అయితే ఇప్పుడు మొత్తం ఫుల్ స్టాక్ ఎన్ని కోర్సెస్ ఉంటాయి మనకి దగ్గర దగ్గర 14 కోర్సెస్ ఉంటాయి ఈ జావా అంటే జావా స్ట్రీమ్ అంతా కోర్ జావా అడ్వాన్స్ జావా హైబర్నెట్ స్ప్రింగ్ వెబ్ సర్వీసెస్ మైక్రోసాఫ్ట్ నేను తీసుకుంటాను కంప్లీట్ జావా స్ట్రీమ్ అంతా నేను తీసుకుంటాను రిమైనింగ్ కోర్సెస్ వచ్చేసి ఏమన్నా ఆర్ఐకిల్ కానీ యూఐ కానీ ఈ టెస్టింగ్ టూల్స్ కానీ ఇవన్నీ కూడా వేరే ట్రైనర్స్ తీసుకుంటారు సో నా టైమింగ్ వచ్చేసి మీరు 4:30 to 9 వరకు ఈ టైం నేను తీసుకుంటా ఎవ్రీ 2 క్లాసెస్ పేర్లో నడుస్తూ ఉంటాయి రిమైనింగ్ టైమింగ్స్లో రిమైనింగ్ కోర్సెస్ స్టార్ట్ అవుతూ ఉంటాయి అట్ ఎనీ టైం మీరు అవి స్టార్ట్ చేయొచ్చు అటెండ్ అవ్వచ్చు అట్లా అచ్చా అచ్చా ఓకే అమ్మా మనీ గురించి అంటారా నాతో మాట్లాడుతున్నారా సరే సరే పర్లేదు పర్లేదు 27 పే చేస్తాను ఇప్పుడు పే చేస్తారా అది ఒకసారి మాట్లాడండి చూడండి అదేదో ఉంది కదా యాక్చువల్ ఏదో ఆఫర్ ఏదో ఉంది సరే మన స్టూడెంట్ రిఫరెన్సే కదా ఎందుకే బాబు అంత గట్టిగా ఉంటారా ఒకటి సరే తొందర మాట్లాడండి పర్లేదు చెప్పండి సార్ నేను అంత చూసాను అంతకుమించి మనం guys and 1 minute when I will get videos access Santosh and just we can send your pay slips to then whatever the transactions you have done there send your pay slip to 1 minute I'll give some link to you where it is yeah and send your pay slips to this number whatever the transaction you have done there just send that transaction receipt to this number WhatsApp to this number you'll get immediate access no don't worry guys if any of you are not having videos now then send your transaction receipt to this number through WhatsApp then our people will send immediately that videos access to you okay this class video upload in the old batch folder or new folder sir Hari Krishna then in both it is available don't worry yeah so I joined last batch 4:30 p.m. that is changed 6 to but I'm from Australia I can't be able to attend that time I will continue this class okay no problem Hari Krishna then you can attend don't worry yeah then Vishnu that implementation I will show in the next class in Python how it is available then I will show that information don't worry for it core Java fee details Khader okay just 1 minute Anyway, then message to this number, then our people will send all the details to you. Any changes will happen in the sense not immediately, but advanced Java, I plan for it maybe April 14th. Advanced Java is already decided. April 14th is the time for it. Maybe in a 6 o'clock, not immediately, maybe in the future, one or two topics I may take at 6 o'clock also. But there is no guarantee as of now, but maybe chance are available, one or two topics at 6 o'clock in the future. Okay? Okay. Don't worry. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, thank you guys. Thanks a lot. We'll meet on tomorrow, guys. Tomorrow we'll see the remaining content. We'll see the content tomorrow. Okay, fine.